Lindenwood head coach Dave Musso in his seventh season. Coach, your team missed out on the OVC tournament last season, but you appeared in the semifinals the year before. Kind of how does the team look to regain their place? Kind of as the top echelon of the conference.
Yeah, well, it's a very good conference, and going through our reclassification, there are different challenges along the way. And I think starting January 1st, we kind of turned the corner on the past era, and we have a very good returning core. So it all starts with the recruiting. So we had a very good core to work with in the spring to develop a team identity on and off the field. So on the field, our style of play, compete level, competitiveness, but also our culture. We had to take a deep dive, look in the mirror, and we called it culture renovation. And it's a key year for us because as we look at our current roster, we are now completely all the Division 1 era kids. So that being said, we're a young group. So the past is all about learning and growing from the hard times, but now we see that light at the end of the tunnel. We have 10 awesome freshmen. We have very good returners. We added a couple transfers. 19 of our 25 player roster are freshmen and sophomores. So we are a young group, but the level of talent and athleticism is much higher. And so hopefully that translates to success on the field. Even if you take a look
So,
at our roster from now compared to 2022 when we were in the semifinals, we only have 5 players that were part of that team. So it's been a big turnover in a very good way.
well, kind of you talk about it in a very good way. What are some of the things that you like most about this team, and what do you feel their strengths are, despite being young? What are their strengths?
Yeah, so our in possession on the ball is much better. We have a lot more offense. We added a lot of players that add firepower to our offense. Very good forwards. So we added 3 freshman forwards. We added depth in the midfield, and we return all of our center backs. So we'll be stronger in every single aspect of the game. So that's huge. But I like our so in the past, we were defending a lot, which is part of this process. But now I feel like we're going to be on the ball more and able to go produce some more offense, which will help us in the long run.
Okay, well, 19 to 25, freshman, sophomore. It's again the youth taking over, but of that group and as well as everyone else, who are some of the key players that we should be looking forward to this year, and as well as some of the newcomers that we should keep an eye on.
Yeah, so several areas. We do have some key returners. Eglo Thorstein's daughter. She's a senior from Iceland. Very good center back for us. Rachel Jackson is a junior center mid. She'll be holding down the midfield for us. And then we return sophomore Anna Johnson, who's from the Chicago area. She is a sophomore forward. She can play center back. But then if you look at where we upgraded to, we added 3 fantastic freshman forwards. Tasneem Distarovich is from the St. Louis area, but she plays currently with the Bosnian full national team. She has really shown really well the first 10 days. Mackenzie Compton, another freshman who's very good, along with Maddie Vasilov. So we've upgraded with more threats in the attacking moments. We also added some transfers that were really good for us who came in the spring. Jess Dodd, who's a dynamic center back, very good on the ball from Eastern Kentucky. And then Ava Blum, who's a wingback for us, junior from Omaha. Both those kids are from St. Louis area as well. But the core of this group is very strong. We returned a lot of people from the spring and adding 10 freshmen to get acclimated to our culture and on the field identity. It's a really good mix of youth along with what we've built in the spring as returners.
Coach, taking a look at your roster, very very large population of student athletes that are from your area, from either Missouri, Illinois, and such. Very very Iceland. Very very close to everything. But seriously, with the Missouri and Illinois and that, talk a little bit about creating this team and having a lot of kids that are very close to home.
Uh, St. Louis, our bread and butter. There are a lot of very high level club teams in this area. It allows us to go evaluate them when they're sophomores, even, and then start the relationships when they're juniors. But being in St. Louis area really helps us build those relationships with them, and for us to get to know, okay, we know where they're at as a player, but what is their character like, and how are they going to add to our culture? So we not only look for good players that are going to help us right away, which we've found and are going to continue to find, but the right people too, who fit our culture, who want to be at Lindenwood, want to compete for a championship in the OVC, and help grow this program into something special. So um, we we really hit the core of St. Louis, but then we also look in the Midwest. Got a Kansas City player, Chicago, Central Illinois, Wisconsin. So Iceland. So we'll mix in those players as well. But the core of the group is from St. Louis. A lot of them played club soccer together or against each other. So they all know each other before they step on campus. And I think that's really good and benefits the team. That way, when they get here and you only have, 1 week before your first exhibition, you already have those relationships already built before they step on campus. So the chemistry out in the field is so important for us. And one thing that we've added is just depth this year.
Okay. Well, Coach, you kind of touched base with a few things a little earlier, but if there is one main thing that you could wish for your team to have to be a contender, or what it's going to need to be a contender for the OVC this season, what would that be?
The one thing, if you look at our roster and our group, we are very young. So if we can just continue to grow every single day and be the best version of ourselves as the season progresses, we want to be peaking during the postseason. So being a young group, I'm sure there will be some ups and downs and some challenges, some learning moments of the college game. But all said and done, we want to be peaking at the end of the year. And I think that's our biggest challenge. And if we can keep growing as a group, I think we'll be right there in the end.
Well, Coach, you talk about peaking at the end. That kind of leads to, the beginning of the season, the non-conference schedule, and you put together a nice competitive schedule, including teams like Omaha and DePaul and UI Indy. Those are
Yes.
some pretty solid programs, and kind of talking a little bit about the structure of the non-conference.
Yeah. So one benefit of us being in St. Louis are there are a lot of options, a lot of teams that are close. Even our preseason exhibitions at Mizzou, Indiana State coming here, helping us prepare for Belmont and Omaha. Both of those teams are very good. We're on the road, both those games. So that'll be a challenge. But then we are home against IUPUI and UMKC. So we're excited about that. But then we'll end with at DePaul right before conference to test ourselves and get ourselves ready for the OVC play. But we have a great mixture of home and away games, very competitive teams. So it will be challenging, and we want to keep challenging ourselves to make ourselves the best by when the OVC does start, so we can then ride that and then keep growing.
All right, great. Well, head coach Dave Musso from Lindenwood, appreciate your time today, and we wish you the best of luck this season.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.